So, Band Up, I noticed something that you've done in the last few seconds that you were talking. You kept giving hypotheticals. This can mean this, if this, but you haven't really gave us any concrete
No,
evidence. Most
so straight. No, I don't think he would probably purposely pointed out
I
reading through the
got you.
list. Kell Brook.
Thank you
I
for
give you a
being
straight
honest.
answer,
Yep, thank
but
you.
it's just more of a what are we seeing from this guy?
Right. So the truth of the matter is that Terrence Crawford didn't go and point them out. The matchmaker, Brad Goodman, over at Top Rank, he pointed them out. And I already proved on Tuesday night, excuse me, I think it was Monday, on this podcast, whether it was Monday or Tuesday, I think it was maybe Tuesday. Anyway, how the record of Kell Brook and Amir Khan was parallel to each other. It was similar in regards to them both moving up in weight to get knocked out at like by Triple G and by Canelo, and then they fought somebody else and they went on a 2-year hiatus. Then they came back and fought one or two times, and then they fought Bud. That was done intentionally so that Bud Crawford can look good. Would you agree that Terrence Bud Crawford's resume is a little mediocre as far as competition is concerned?
At welterweight,
At welterweight, that's what I mean. At welterweight,
just at welterweight, yeah.
yeah, no. We ain't talking about no, because he's the WBO champion in one division, welterweight. So no other division, just welterweight. You believe that his resume is mediocre based on the
I
competition,
don't
right?
think it's media. I don't think it's mediocre. I don't think it's. I do think Earl's is better than his. I don't think his is mediocre though. To say the least.
Right, but I'm okay. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you grade Terrence Bud Crawford's resume in the welterweight division
I'd say probably at a 7 or 8.
based on competition?
Yes, based on
Okay, great.
what competition and who's in the ranking. I don't know why my phone is doing that. My phone can I leave out and come right back in? My
Oh,
phone is putting
please.
me through the top, not the bottom.
That's all
I'm
right.
coming,
Come
but
on
I'm
back,
coming
bro.
right back. I'm coming right
Oh
back.
yes, come on back.
I ain't gonna run. Oh, trust me, I'm here.
Oh yes. We also have Band Up. Band Up is back. Band Up is back, and we also have. Hold on. I think Cash. Hey Cash, you're in the background. Do me a favor, Cash. Turn your camera on so I can make sure and verify that you are not a troll. That you are really who you say you are. That there's a live human behind you, and I promise you, I will let you on to the broadcast. But until you do that, I'm going to get down to Band Up, and we're going to finish our brief discussion. So, Cash, turn your camera on so I can confirm, that you are who you are, and I definitely will let you jump on. Quick question, Band Up. We glad that you didn't run. We give
Oh,
you
you know I
credit for
wasn't
that.
going to go nowhere.
You came, and you kept your word like a man. Now, speaking of keeping the word, you seem like you're an honest guy, and you said you're a Bud Crawford fan. Did Bud Crawford ever say one lie in the last 6 months publicly?
That's a lot of interviews. You want me to go through all of them? But
Uh,
I don't
just
think
give
I'm
me
like
three. I
I'm
mean,
like
just
I'm like
three.
I'm like I'm like I'm like I can see her saying no. I can see her say yeah, but you gonna point out to this conference or that. I don't remember every word, but I haven't heard any cat from him.
Well, you are a fan of his, so that's why
Yeah,
I'm
I haven't heard.
asking.
Yeah, and I haven't heard any cat.
You never heard?
I haven't heard any cat, but you can bring it to me. Come on.
Okay. Did you see his last interview he did, Million Dollar Worth of Game?
Yep, I
You
watched
heard
that
what he
one.
was good. You heard what he was talking about other side of the street, right? You heard
Yeah,
that? Oh, okay, gotcha. And he said that they started that because of him. Then he got caught lying because he's the one that did start that. You don't remember none of that?
yeah, I remember him saying that.
So you don't think he was lying when he said that?
I'm not too familiar on. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not too familiar. I'm not a historian of the boxing game, so I don't know who said what. I don't know if he
All
was
right.
lying on that or not. So there was no way for me to speak on that. I'll tell you the truth. I've
All
just
right, I
started
got
watching boxing no longer than 6 years ago.
you. Okay, I appreciate that. So you said that Terrence Bud Crawford's resume is an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10 for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say yeah. I wouldn't say it's trash.
You would say it's an 8 though. You said 8.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What was your reaction when you heard that he was going to fight David Evanesia?
I was on manager. I was on Monty Brown's when he broke that news, and I was like, who?
Didn't know who he was?
No, because I don't know everybody in boxing. I don't know everybody.
Oh, okay. But you knew that he was fighting David Evanesian. You just knew that. You didn't know who David Evanesian
Yeah,
was.
yeah. And when I hear some names, I go look at what they do on YouTube, and I go, you know what I mean, search my stuff up.
Would you say that he was a credible opponent for Terrence Crawford?
He ranked for a reason.
Oh, okay. He's ranked. What was his ranking when Terrence Crawford?
Number 6. Number 6, if I'm not mistaken, right? Number 6.
Number 6 in the WBO.
Yeah. If he wasn't, wasn't he number 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
You was cool with him fighting him though, right? You was cool with that because he was ranked number 6. You was okay with that.
I mean, we gotta. I mean,
Is this a yes or no?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Yes. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Anybody that's ranked anybody that's ranked in the top 5, top 6, top 10, yeah, you got a number by your name, you can get in the ring.
All right, well, hold on. You got to clarify. You said top 5, top 10, top. You got to choose one. What top 5
10?
Or top 10?
And if you in the top 10, you should be able to fight whoever.
You should be fine. Okay. So I had a question for you. So Jaron Boots Ennis was ranked number 2 in the WBO. Why didn't you press for Crawford to fight him? He was ranked higher than David Evanesian.
Yeah, you could say that. You could say he could have pressed for Jaron Ennis.
That's not me just saying it.
You could say he could have pressed for Jaron Ennis, and so could have Earl.
No. We're gonna get to Earl, but I want to get to. See, you a fan of Crawford.
Oh yeah. So, okay. So
he didn't. Yeah, you a fan of Crawford.
Look. So all right. So I'm gonna tell you straight up. Hey, as a fighter, I know I can beat this dude, right? I know I could beat him. If I'm Terrence Crawford, I know I could beat you. But at the same time, you could what, fracture this or fracture that. And I'm still trying to make the same fight for Earl. So say he does go fight him, and say he does get a broken bone, but he still knocks Jaron Boots Ennis out. We don't got this fight today.
But you're still giving hypotheticals again.
I'm not. I'm telling you straight up. If I'm Bud and I choose Boots Ennis, and I get a broken rib, why the hell would I go through that if I'm trying to make the biggest fight, the biggest payday in boxing, and I'm not trying to prolong my career?
But
see, this is what I don't think you guys. I don't think everybody understands. Like, well, Bud's saying he's not trying to fight for that.
Band up. Here's the issue that people have with Crawford fans. Y'all keep trying to interpret what Bud Crawford means when he says this or when he does this. We can only go by what he said and what he did with his actions. His actions.
I don't think Earl Smith fans believe two things to be true.
Let me finish. His actions allowed him to fight a guy who was number 6 on the WBO rankings when the guy was already agreeing to fight on November the 19th in another country. That's a fact.
Agreeing or agreed?
No, he agreed. He signed the contract.
Straight up, everything was legit.
Everything was legit, right? You agree with that. The guy was ranked number 6, and the guy was already in a contractual obligation and agreement to fight on November the 19th, literally 2.5 weeks before he fought Crawford. I asked you about Boots and him fighting a guy who was ranked number 2 in the WBO, since you said anyone ranked in the top 10 is solid, right? So my question to you was, why didn't Crawford fight Boots Ennis when he was ranked number 2 in the WBO?
And my answer to you was, Marty, straight up, if he my opinion on why Bud did not choose Boots is because Bud had the mindset of,
how do you know that he had that mindset?
Is that not common sense at this point? It's not common sense.
No.
See, that's the thing about it. I don't think Spence fans believe that. I don't think Spence fans believe two things can be true, and that is the case. Two things can be true, Marty. Not one thing means just one thing.
I'm not here to talk about two things to be true. I'm only asking for one thing to be true, and that is why didn't he fight?
And that's what you choose to go with.
Huh?
If I choose to go with logic and health and money over opportunity versus somebody that's not even gonna mean nothing. If I'm gonna fight somebody that don't mean nothing anyway, why would I go with a harder opponent?
So you saying he ducked Boots because Boots was a
I
hard
don't think he
competition?
ducked him. I don't think he ducked him. If Boots doesn't have no obligation or no what's it called? What do they call it? No mandatory to fight me. How am I ducking him?
David Evanesian had mandatory to fight him?
No, but how am I ducking him for picking somebody else?
You said if Boots didn't have a mandatory to fight Crawford, but David Evanesian didn't have one, and you said you was cool with fighting.
Neither one had him, and I still chose the better opponent because I wanted, because like he said, I believe it. I believe Bud wanted to tune up. I do. I straight up will tell you that. I believe because it's been a year since he's been out the ring, so I believe he wanted to fight.
Got you. So David Evanesian was a tune-up in your mind.
Yeah, he can get his ass. Yeah, anybody.
Okay.
It looked like if Spence would have fought him, he would have gave him the business.
No,
if Boots would have fought him, he would have gave him the business.
I'm not asking about Spence. I'm talking about David Evanesian. You use
against any of the top fighters is a tune-up. Against any of those top fighters is a tune-up. So against any of the top three is a tune-up.
Great. So you said two things can be true at the same time. You said yes. That? So I have a question for you if that's the case. How can you then say that David Evanesian was a tune-up in Crawford's last fight, but you can also equally say at the same time that his resume was ranked at a number 8 out of 1 through 10? How can you say that?
Because it's a stay busy. Has a fighter's not ever stayed busy before?
I didn't ask you about fighters staying busy.
That's why I said because it's a stay busy.
I'm asking you. You said that Crawford's resume on a scale of 1 to 10 is an 8, but you agreed that he fought a tune-up, and you agreed that the other level of competition wasn't that good. So how can you rank him as an 8 at the same time?
What does Boots Ennis have that, what's it called, that Evanesian don't got? I'm giving it to you. What does Boots Ennis have that Evanesian he doesn't?
Hold up. Let's do this right.
Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Because if I say yes, you're going to be like, well, that means that. It's the same thing.
Hold on. We're not going to talk over each other. Hold on. I asked you a question, and you're asking me about Boots. I want you to answer the question. Don't ask me a question.
How am I saying it's a great? Because fighters are allowed to take tune-ups if you need a tune-up. If it's nobody else really out there, I'm looking around. Nobody out here. What's going on? We're giving Boots. You guys are giving Boots disrespect off of just a glamour of what you see.
I never said nothing about Boots. The name of this segment is called Nip It in the Bud. This segment is about Bud. I'm asking you because you're a Crawford fan, so I'm asking you about Crawford. So I'm asking you about his level of competition. In the beginning of this segment, before you went off, and I can roll the tape back, you said that Crawford's level of competition on his resume was not that good, and you clarified it by saying in the welterweight division. Didn't you say that?
Yeah, that's the first thing I said, in the welterweight division.
Thank you. So if two things can be true at the same time as you say, how can you first say that his level of competition that he fought was mediocre and suspect in the welterweight division, and then at the same time say that you rank him a number 8 between a 1 and a 10 on resumes?
Because fighting one fighter does not make everything else you've done go down.
But you didn't say one fighter.
That's my reason, though. That's my fighting. Just because you fight Evanesian it's supposed to mean you can poo-poo the rest.
Band up. Before I mentioned the word Evanesian, you got on the platform, and the first thing that you said, thank you for admitting it, was Terrence Bud Crawford's resume was mediocre. I didn't say anything about one fighter. Resume means every fighter that he competed against in the welterweight division. And you clarified it by saying, in the welterweight division, right? In the welterweight division. And I said, yes. So we agreed, right? Now you're saying something different by saying that you rank his resume as an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't have it both ways. It's either his resume is not good on the welterweight division, like you said in the beginning, or it's not.
An 8 is still an 8 to me. I'm not moving off my 8 point, whether I said in the beginning.
No problem.
I'm keeping it straight up. I still think his resume is good. It's decent. It's not the best. He don't got everybody lined up. He don't got all that stuff lined up. He don't got every fight is a title fight. So it's not a 10 out of 10. It's not a 9 out of 9. It's not a 9 out of 9 simply because he didn't pick Boots. It would have been a 9 out of 9 if he picked Boots. But
why he ain't pick him? That's what my question.
I gave you that, Marty. You remember what I said? I wrote a tape. Because if you going in there and probably gonna get your ribs broke and still knock him out, what's the point of going in there when you could go in there and knock this dude out, Get this money and go fight the man.
You keep saying if, though. We're not talking hypotheticals. We need
That's the reason. That's the reason.
What's
that's the reason. You don't like to hear it, but that's the reason. He chose an easier opponent.
You didn't answer the question, Banda. You keep saying if. Just tell me why he skipped over Boots, who was ranked number 2. That's all I'm asking.
Because there's no difference between Boots and Avanesian.
There's no difference?
What's the difference? Besides the eye test, what's the difference? Do any of them have a belt for him? No. Is he going to gain anything by him? Because Boots don't got a huge name like that. Neither does Avanesian. Boots probably got a little bit bigger than Avanesian.
So Crawford's not going to gain nothing from fighting Boots.
Exactly.
All right, and that's what I'm glad you said, because in the beginning of this segment,
neither one of them would have gained any from.
Stand up. Let me finish, brother. I asked you, what did Crawford get out of fighting Kell Brook? He didn't get a belt for beating him. I asked the last Crawford fans, what did he get from fighting Amir Khan? He didn't get a belt from him either. Stop, hold on. What did he get from fighting Sean Porter? He didn't get a belt then either. What did he gain from fighting David Evanesian? He didn't get a belt then. So you can't use that for Boots and say, well, he wasn't going to get no incentive for fighting Boots. But then you agreed that his resume was an 8 if he ain't getting nothing else from the other guys I just named.
Bro, what? Marty. So you mean to tell you sitting here telling me because he didn't get them
contradicting yourself, Banda.
No. I got you, Marty. I got you. So you mean to tell me you gonna give him respect for fighting Boots, or are you gonna hit him with the same thing you hit him with Kell Brook on, and Amir Khan and Avanesian and Sean Porter? You giving him the same? You giving him the same?
You guys never cease to amaze me.
I'm asking you, are you gonna treat him the same?
You guys never. This is what I'm saying. You're going to sit here, contradict yourself in front of thousands of people that's watching over Crawford? Come on, bro. You got to stand on integrity, bro. You can't say the guy's resume is a 8, ranked number 8 out of a 1 to 10, and then in the beginning before that say,
Marty, why do you put it down?
The guys in the welterweight division was mediocre.
Marty, why do you put it down? Why do you put his resume down?
I don't have to put his resume down. The matchmakers did a great job. The matchmakers did a great job. Top Rank Boxing Promotions did a great job with Terrence Ball Crawford's career. They matched him with the right opponents, which was lower level competition. That's facts. That's not an opinion. Even you agreed with me in the beginning, but now I start peppering you with these hot questions in the air fryer, and now you start contradicting.
Nah, you don't like that two things can be true and the man moves smart.
I never said that. I don't know what channel you're talking about, but I speak facts on this channel. I don't do all that too. Yeah, I don't know who.
No, because I don't. Marty, what is the difference between Avanesian and Boots? Just tell me that. What's the difference? What's the difference?
You brought their names up.
What's the difference?
I didn't bring Boots' name up. You did. You tell me what's the difference between him and.
Because you guys like to paint a narrative and point and will literally point and look one way, yet there'll be a whole picture, but you guys will look one way and it says this is the case. Because
that's what you're
doing. There's no
right
difference
now,
between Avanesian and Boots, and you guys want to get on Bud Crawford for staying busy.
All right, okay.
And fighting Avanesian.
Okay, I'll answer your question. You ready for this, Banda?
What's the difference?
I'm gonna tell you. Very simple. You ready for this? David Evanesian was ranked number 6 and Boots was ranked number 2. That's the difference. I got to go. Baby.
Crazy.
That was the difference, bro. I answered your question.